Well, hello. Welcome to Alexandria RPG. We're a non-profit role-playing game library, and when we're not out sharing role-playing game books with folks at events, we stream here when we can. Mondays, which is today, I try to do news and Kickstarters, and I like to showcase all the cool stuff that we've gotten over the last week. And yeah, sometimes we actually get new stuff almost every week. This week's actually a really interesting one because we've got new stuff and really old stuff. Stuff older than me, even. I'm almost as old as RPGs, but I'm not. They got a few years on me still. I'd say it's a good thing to think of. Next year will be the 50th anniversary of RPGs. That is a crazy, crazy thought. I love it. Well, hello in the chat. How's everyone doing? We got people kind of all over, and I like it. And for some reason, I love it. um, Twitch didn't update the name of the stream like everyone else. Occasionally it does that, so I think it went out as we're streaming Pirate Board, which is tomorrow, not today. So, if you want to support the library and all the things we do, you can go to our website, alexandriarpg.org, and you can see the many ways that you can support us via Patreon or PayPal or becoming a member on Twitch. We can't do that yet on Rumble and YouTube, but hey, working on those. Our X account is almost 1,000 strong now, which is weird and mind-boggling to me. I love it. We are continually growing, which is amazing things. There's a lot of interesting moving parts going on right now. This last weekend we had some GMs up at Vernon Wells Geek Club, and they ran some games. If you are in the Kirkland area and you're looking for a cool place to just be a nerd or a geek, look at Vern and Wells. If you're not and you want to support a group that has a really cool space for nerds, never hurts to check them out. Let's see. Okay, is everybody ready to get into some of the interesting things that we got from the great ether? So from Kickstarter and our friend Shep, Chris Shepperson, and he has his Hansor Publishing now. So Chris Shepperson worked for, he worked on SLA Industries 2, and then in the industry up until just a few weeks ago, he's working for Modiphius, and he was still doing stuff on his own. So this was a successful Kickstarter, and as much as I love this cover, I do have to point out that, hey Chris, the text, the name is unreadable. Thankfully, it's readable on the side. So Rectify is a solo horror RPG, and has the parental advisory sticker on the back. It was definitely not for kids. I mean, in the beginning, when faced with your demise, will you rectify or die? I want to get him on and talk about this because it is a really dark game, but it has a point, and it can be a really healthy thing to do. Sometimes you gotta face the dark to get into the light. And then this is the actual. He did a nice little journal to go along with it, seeing how it's a journal type solo RPG. So it's just simple. It was a stretch goal, and he was able to get to that, and we got that. I don't know why Ninth Level Games sent us another copy of Mazes, but I'm not going to turn this down because this is awesome. So if you don't know, the library next year is going to have 3 libraries, 3 sections. There was a... Yes, Rectify. So the library is going to be at 3 places at once. So having great little books like this, Mazes is a blast of a great little system. It's a great little fantasy system. This is like the limited run cover. They didn't tell me they were sending me another copy. I don't remember backing it, but it also came with giant dice and coins. Can't really see the coins on. Yeah. But really happy that they sent us this stuff. I'll have to reach out to Chris and Heather and say, hey, did you mean to send us another copy? I'm not going to complain. See, we got another copy of the Black Sword Hack. This is a game I actually talk about very regularly at events. And if you've been to an event and you've seen me talk, you've talked to me about RPGs. So there's Black Hack, which is an OSR game, and then this is Black Sword Hack, and it modifies the Black Hack a little bit. This is by the Marion Mushman, who've done a bunch of really cool things, and there's so many great little things I like about this. I've talked about this when we got our first copy in, and somebody sent us a new copy, so we can send that 2 different directions, and I can talk about that a bunch all around. Errant, a fantasy role-playing game. I know nothing about this. It's from Killjester. I have never seen this. I know nothing of this. Writing, Ava Islam. Layout. When did this come out? I don't know. 2021. So this has been out for a couple years. I don't know anything about this. Didn't even know it was coming. And it was put in with a stack of other books that I did know was coming, like Black Sword Hack. So I'm going to have to look this up and find out some more info about it. Let's see. Orbital Blues. Travelers Welcome. Orbital Blues. Vacancy. A space western RPG. So, if just off the name, if you get a Cowboy Bebop feel, that's kind of the idea. I don't know the I don't know the rule set, but really, I mean, a nice layout in the center. Or inside. So, Orbital Blues. Really excited about this one. Of course, excited about the Cowboy Bebop one that'll be coming. Let's see. Rockwell for administration. A real... Huh. Oh, is this the... I think this might be the... Wow, this is a GM screen. I think this is the GM screen for Orbital Blues. 1, 2, 3. That's 6. I like this. I really do dig this one. This is nice. And on the inside, you can see on the inside here, everything's nice and sizable, so it's easy to read at a glance. And that's something that I probably don't talk about enough, but if you're going to do a GM screen, it needs to be so that the GM can look at it really quick and pick things up. They shouldn't have to like dig in. They shouldn't be in there like, what? So this is a decent size that I can have, at an arm's reach and be able to read it fairly quick. I didn't know that was coming. Another copy of the Index RPG. So we were trying to get a copy of this for ages. This summer, a stealth donation popped up, and we just got another one in the mail with the Orbital Blues and the other stuff. So I know there's a few people in the library that are excited because we can start actually learning this one. Let's see. Another copy of the Lamentations of the Flame Princess core rulebook. Definitely an 18 plus thing, but it is a really well put together system. I know some people don't like the guy that created it. He's a crazy Finnish guy. Whatever you think he is, he's not. He's just a really strange, passionate man. Definitely not political in any means. But I like little things like the inside covers actually being used. Pause for Ad. I guess the ad's over. I love it says ad coming up. Gives me a little countdown. Goes away. And then it says ad's done. So we have a variety of stuff from the Lamentations of Flame Princess. And it is definitely a bonkers world. But it's a really well done core system. I love this every time he does a new printing. Like 7th printing, 1,000 copies. So basically every printing of this is like a limited run. Then we got the Lamentations Flame Princess little 3-box 3-book box set. So nice little box. Some little maps. And when I say little maps, it's not very big. And that is a lot of info for a very tiny map. That is hilarious. The grounds. You get 3 maps with this one. No dignity in death. This is very true. And yet more maps in this. The grinding gear. Then in the book we got the Adventure Anthology Fire, Adventure Anthology Death, and then Adventure Anthology Blood. This is a thick book for a Lamentations of Flame Princess book. Wow, this is oh my god. There's a lot of there's NPCs and there's sub games. Whew, that okay. There's a lot of stuff. Let's put all this back into the sleeve. Has anyone played Lamentations of Flame Princess before? I have. That's why I do like it. Again, it does address a lot of mature themes, so it's not a game that you're going to throw out for kids, and typically one we don't get GMs running at the library. So, for those of you that don't know, when we organize games, unless you get prior approval through myself or whoever I have running the event, all our games are PG-13. So you shouldn't go any further than Gremlins or Indiana Jones. Anything further than that, we need approval. We're going to put you later in the evening. We're going to kind of put you further away from the door so people wandering through don't walk in on, Vampire the Masquerade, something bonkers happening, and they're like, whoa, time out. People that are jumping into those games also do know a lot of times will mark if it is an adult oriented game, or it'll be something in the evening, and if a kid shows up then we're like, yeah, it's not a kid's game. Let's see, I don't know what this is. Arc, Leviathan and Loom. I don't know this. So it was nice because I knew some of the stuff that was coming, but he tossed in he tossed in some extra stuff. I love this. This adventure was made possible by the generosity of Kickstarter backers. You folks rock. I don't know anything about this. This literally got here like the box with most of this stuff got here like 2 hours ago. So carry on, Wayward Weapon. I don't know anything about this one either. I can't say much if I don't know about the games. Somebody in the comments was saying that one of the a writer with Flames of the Princess, Lamentations of Flames Princess, has a lot of negative things within their life. I'm not going to go into, but and then apparently the guy that runs it fired that individual. But I do know outside of that, a lot of people have talked about the guy that runs all the Lamentations of the Flame Princess stuff, because he is a really eccentric individual. I didn't bring up the other individuals because I knew he's been gone from the company for a couple years now, I think, maybe longer. Time gets weird. And somebody said the ratings content that we're doing at the library they think is going well so far, and I agree. And we've been very fast and loose with it for quite some time, because mostly everything was just ad hoc gaming, so we didn't really have to do kind of ratings. Like you get 5 or 6 people like, hey, I want to play a game, and you were able to talk to them for a few minutes, kind of gauge what you could do. But now we're organizing things in advance. We still do ad hoc gaming at most of our events, but if you're doing everything in advance, you don't know who's going to sit down at the table. So you have to really make something that is broad and open for as many people as possible. Time is our enemy, yes. Let's see. Another one from Archetype, An Exalted Funeral. So this is Bitter Sun, another game that I didn't know was coming. Another one from using Arc. The Minting of the World. When conquistadors, iron giants, arrive in the archipelago filled with luminous gods, can the heroes prevent the shattered harmony from the harbinger of doom? Ideal for 4 players and 3 sessions of 3-hour games, 1 session for each major city. Interesting. And then Arc. Create heroes, explore worlds, and embark on exhilarating adventures as your race against the clock to slay the apocalypse in this tabletop role-playing game. Okay. So this is the Arc core game, and then all of these are settings within Arc. Interesting. So those are all our newer and smaller books. Yeah, these look really neat. I'm intrigued. I really want to read through them. So I was super excited to get this because we've got the first edition of Rogues Gallery, but now we have AD&D second edition Rogues Gallery, which I owned this when I was a teenager, but I've not seen it in so long, and it was it was designed to be put in the 3-ring binder, just like all the monsters. And these are just some really cool various NPCs that you could run into in the world. And you get some great old... Is he throwing a squid? Jot. 17th level human wizard. And he's running around in a loincloth throwing squids. Kel. 10th level merman sea paladin. So all kinds of just really interesting stuff. Here's a first level elf wizard. 19th level human wizard, Ari Stoffen. So here's Zod Thirsteltheim, first level halfling monk. Man, I was super excited to get this just because I have not seen this and I've used a bunch of these characters over the years. through the 90s. These were great for me to just grab and go, oh man, I'm really happy to have this in the library now. Because we can grab and go second ed stuff now. I'm going to put that there. So from Game Science was trying to push... this is David ruining every pronunciation. I'll show you some of those offline. I'm okay with pronunciations, but some of the made-up names, they're vicious. Okay, Game Science was trying to be a game maker and a dice manufacturer, and I think them trying to compete with ChessX early on and trying to compete in the game space, they diluted themselves and crushed themselves. The Tome of Mighty Magic from Game Science. This came out in, oh man, see if I can find, so this is 1992, and it is literally, so here's the rotary polarization, level 4. Rotary polarization enables light rays to enter the area of effect, but they cannot leave the area within 30-foot sphere. The spellcaster can see where he is going, even outside the sphere, but opponents cannot see her light. Yeah, this is just a giant book of spells for second ed D&D. Speaking of Vampire the Masquerade, so currently they're on 5th edition, and I didn't know that they did a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition collector's edition. Like, this is nice looking, but like this is actually like pressed in. Same with the on the edge. This looks like somebody. I know it's supposed to be a symbol or something, but it looks like somebody put a jagged hot ball on the back. Overall, pretty nice. The interior is not much different than the standard 5th ed book. But they did use interior space, and I really love it when people do this. So we have the limited run of 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade, which Renegade Games is really trying hard to clean up. Because it's not a bad set of rules, it was just kind of put together poorly. So we go to a fair amount of comic conventions, and I'm stoked to get this, because I had this for ages, never played it. Superhero 2044. This is from 1977. It is a hero. In fact, help wanted. If you like this game and have time to teach others, we will pay you to help us at war game conventions. If you can run demonstrations or tournaments of this game at conventions, see, that is all. So you could fill out a little form, mail this in, and possibly go to a convention and play this. You could be Science Police, a multinational organization charged with preventing the World War. Was formed after the Six-Day War. This eventually developed in the powerful Science Police. Its operations are at least equivalent to K8LN Institute graduates and receive the latest equipment, often includes devices illegal in outsider hands. There's one picture in here. This. I for this picture, I don't know why my copy growing up always popped open to this. And I had this book for ages, could never get anybody to play because we played Champions. And this Champions is complex. This is incomplete. Let me put it that way. But this dude flying around in that jetpack thing, I just thought it was like one of the most awesome things. That image is like ingrained in my brain. But I cannot wait to sit down and try to figure this game out. Now that I have a role-playing game library, I could force people to play with me. Mail it in. I don't even know if it actually... this is also from Game Science, a company that is long gone, sadly. It would be funny to mail that in and See if somebody has a business that address. Be like, what are you doing? Like, that company's long gone. Let's see. We got so going from superhero game to superhero game. We got the Marvel Superheroes Uncanny X-Men box set. So I was contemplating running this on Thursdays throughout the month of October, but going through it, I have not played this in so long. I did not want to jump into this with 2 feet going, hey, and it's funny because it's supposed to be a really simple game, but it's so outside of all the other games I play right now that my brain is just like, whatever. And here's the funny thing, it's got a receipt in it for 2 different games. So they bought this box set and another box set for a total of $32. The RPG Network. There's the Uncanny X-Men campaign book, your adventure book, your judge's book, and maps and standees. And you can definitely tell what era of Marvel this was with that particular Spider-Man, that particular Iron Man, a really skinny Thing, She-Hulk in Fantastic Four, because Thing kind of like they were switching in and out. Thor with a beard. This really narrows this down to a small area, small time frame. Definitely a different time for Nick Fury before Nick Fury became Samuel L. Jackson. Okay, some comments. Yes, this is the TSR branded version. Yeah, I need to really need to sit down and relearn this so that we can play some. I think it'll be a blast for people to play again. Because it wasn't a bad game. It just definitely wasn't a game designed for playing long campaigns. And then along with that, X-Forces, the Mutant Update. Starting your first GM session, all right. Let's see. Some little cutout things. I don't know what these are for, and one is missing. Might be in here. I have not opened this yet. Alert. Oh, this map of the U.S. and unknown mutants listed all over it. Yes, the X-Men game does need the chart that is on the back of the core rulebook. Hey, you can get the Dungeon or the Dragon magazine. Should we fill out for a subscription? Ooh, the 1992 Spring-Summer catalog. Dark Sun. Ooh. Goblin Lair Adventure Pack. Ravenloft. Al-Qadim. These were beautiful books. They put a lot of work into these. Dragonlance. So it's funny, I was actually talking to someone. Hey, look, there's X-Force Mutant Update. Doctor Doom. We need the Doctor Doom box set. The Creature That Ate Sheboygan. Definitely need that. But it's a board game. There's the Marvel Superheroes. So, one of my favorite settings in D&D has always been Dragonlance, and I've not gotten a chance to play it. But the funny thing is, Dragonlance is kind of where D&D took a turn to what we know today. Because prior to Dragonlance, if you bought a box set or a module, it was kind of set so that you could go play for a little while, come back, and bigger things were really set up so that you could have a map and everything was laid out. In this room is this stuff, and you could, as the GM, play with different groups of people, and different people, like if you go into room 1 with this group and they make it through 1 through 10, the next group comes in, room 1 through 10 are empty already. And with Dragonlance, it created this big open narrative world for you to play continuing adventures in versus like continuing one-shots. Order booklets like that should be scanned and cataloged into Data Wiki. Absolutely agree. And yes, I want to get more and more of the catalogs and stuff. I've been trying to get my hands on some of them. I've been outbid on it. See, Marvel Superhero X-Forces, The Watchers Chronicles. Just some backstory on the what the X-Force is, and here's your X-Force campaign book. Let's see. I think that is a variation Jean Grey, Archangel, after he became good again after being one of the four horsemen of Apocalypse. For Apocalypse, Storm, Gambit, Havoc. That's Scott Summers or Cyclops' brother. Cable. That's Jean Grey and Scott Summers' child from the future, and Bishop. How big of a nerd am I? And I'm a DC fan. Lots of great stuff in here. There's Cable, Cannonball, Captain Britain, Black Tom Cassidy. It's great. Tells you what their known powers are. Super awesome. 2 more things. Ugh. Advanced RuneQuest. Now, we've got RuneQuest, and a edition that we got donated not too long back was the first time I'd seen RuneQuest in hardback. But this RuneQuest was published by Games Workshop. This is this is RuneQuest 3rd edition, and this is before they started really making their own stuff. Well, I mean, they were making their own fantasy stuff by then. This is 87, and this is just before Warhammer 40K, because of the first 40K models came out in 88. Why do I just know that stuff off the top of my head? But the cool thing with this is it's basically just the rules, the RuneQuest rules, and it doesn't actually... so it's really thin, because it doesn't have the Golgothrium, the world rules. It's literally, here's the RuneQuest rules, make up your own stuff and go, which is super cool. And again, Games Workshop, Avalon Hill, which is now owned by Wizards, and Chaosium. Chaosium put out the original RuneQuest stuff from Greg Stafford, who sadly passed away a couple years ago. And then Games Workshop printed it in the UK. And then the last thing, the Complete Tavern. If you've noticed so far, my office has been rearranged some. So my windows back there. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the windows so my door's right there. I'm going to have a computer right here that actually is going to do all the streaming. So I'll be able to look there for all the streaming information, and then all the news will be here. So I'm just going to, and I can have the mouse, have a mouse here and here. That way I can actually do things much simpler, but I got to come up with a background. And if I turn the light on to the room, okay, so there's little cutout furniture in there. The funny thing is with this, I think this looks like almost every tavern I've actually thought of like most of my taverns in RPGs. Um, it have looked a lot like this in my head. This is super duper cool. 180-degree change up. Oh yes, yeah, because all my stuff was here. So if you see the little shelf, my monitor went from there to here. So I was in the middle of the room, and just my desk space got full, is the best I can say. So what I'm trying to do is, this will be my play space, my workspace, and then I'm gonna actually right behind me is going to be on that back wall is actually going to be 3D printers and stuff, and then I'm building a paint station here. So I'm going to start streaming painting. I have my air compressor here. I got to figure out how to put it in here without getting loud. Okay, let's look at the complete tavern from Game Lords Limited. This was $4 back in the day, and by back in the day, 1981. So I was around. I hadn't started playing yet. Let's see. A whiskey shot is high quality is 3 gold piece. Common quality is 2 gold piece. Poor quality is 1 gold piece, and slum is 1 gold piece. I have lights and stuff if I was going to just do a background. I think once I'm cleaned up in here and the curtains and stuff are set up and I have exhaust fans, I might just have something I can hang behind me for when I work this direction and just change out for different things. Love this. Clientele in your stuff. So if you're at a Quality Inn, Nobles, morning 0%, afternoon 15%, evening 25%, night 5%. But gamblers, morning 5%, afternoon 5%, evening 10%, night 40%. Love this. It's a great little book. Yeah, there's different types of games that you will have in your that's a dartboard. It's a little map and the really creative stuff done back in the day, and I would definitely love to reach out to find out who owns the rights to all the Game Lord stuff. Because if we could reprint this, it could be just a great little thing to add into games. And it's in its original 1980s bag. I'm gonna have to get a new bag for it because it is falling apart. So, lots of cool new stuff. Lamentation of the Flame Princess, index card game, mazes, lots of awesome old stuff. I'm excited about all kinds of fun things. Looks like one of my live streams keeps freezing. Okay, let's get into news type stuff. So, this is the precursor to your tavern product. Oh, are you working on a tavern product? Maybe I'll let you check this out and see how close it is. It is very comprehensive. Okay, so last year was the first year that somebody did the tabletop awards for 2023, and in December I'm gonna actually put we're gonna do every couple days in December we're gonna get people to vote on what their favorite thing that actually was released in 2023. Not kickstarted. Well, we may have like a best project of 2023, something like that. But we want people to go over nominate different things. So in November, I'm going to start putting out feelers for people to put in requests or suggestions, and then we'll get people within the library to vote on actually what we think the best products of this year were. We could do an RPG adventure calendar. Adventure. I love the pun. Let's see. Tabletop awards are back. So this is just a cool way to be able to nominate. So here's all the nomination information. So it's Dicebreaker did the article on it, and really easy to look forward. Just look for the Tabletop Awards 2023. They've got best board game, best role playing game, best ongoing card game, best artwork, designer of the year, publisher of the year, rising star designer, rising star publisher, and people's choice. So we may do similar awards, but we're going to do all RPG stuff. So like sci-fi RPG of the year, fantasy RPG of the year, stuff like that. So if you want to participate in theirs, presented by Misty Mountain Gaming. Pathfinder is they've showed off their remastered GM's guide. So needed liquid. I haven't taken a close look at this. The biggest thing is I know that they're moving away from the OGL to the Orc, and that is actually pretty awesome. I don't know much else what they're doing within the book, and the examples don't show, and I don't know Pathfinder well enough. It's funny, it's the second most popular RPG, and I don't know it that well. Yes, Misty Mountain Gaming was the dice vendor at. They were the dice vendor at the game or Rose City Comic Con. They were a big sponsor of Rose City Comic Con. They were official dice vendor. They had a small booth up in the tabletop area, and then they had 2 booths down on the main floor. So no waiting. And we may be doing some work with them. They may donate us some dice for Unplugged and future events, and just loop us in as influencers. So that we, because a lot of times we'll put dice that have been donated to us, we'll put them out on the table so people can play with them. And what I'm trying to do is when we do that, also put, hey, dice at this table were donated by, dice trays donated by, and a way for people to get a hold of the people that have supported the library through product. Okay, everybody's been telling me I have to check out Lancer. The other problem, Lancer has been a digital game. Dark Horse, part of the Embracer Group, is going to actually, which I find funny that they're using Dark Horse, because Dark Horse is owned by Embracer Group. It's their comic book company, but Embracer Group owns Asmodee and Edge, and Edge Studios is an RPG company spun out of because Asmodee bought Fantasy Flight, and then after Embracer Group bought Asmodee, they've spun out Edge to be a role-playing game company under them. So Dark Horse is making a physical copy of the Lancer tabletop RPG. I've looked through the rules. It looks really cool. I have not played it yet. Just might be because I have 9 million other games that I'm learning and trying to play. But it's about time we get a physical copy. And it looks, I'm excited to get a physical copy. I'll put it that way. This one, so Evil Genius has been really awesome, trying to help us out this year. D. Todd Scott. So I was introduced to him as the D stands for David. So because I'm David, we that's probably why we called each other David. But he's a really awesome guy, and I actually like the Modern Heroes RPG that's being put out. I'm learning. It's out in the living room at the moment. I'm learning. I'm trying to put together something cool for Pacific Rim. because if you go to our website, you see there's a little memorial page for my best friend Alan, and one of his favorite movies was Pacific Rim. We both really loved what's it called Star Wars. So not hard because I know Star Wars, I know the RPG, and hang on a second. Someone's making a bunch of noise out in the kitchen, and I need to move some stuff so I can shut my door. There, now I don't have crazy noises. Oh, I didn't know this. Apparently, Edge is finally reprinting their Star Wars and Genesis proprietary dice. Oh my god. I hate proprietary dice. It's funny because the Genesis and the Edge dice were on the aftermarket, just going for ridiculous prices. And I hate proprietary dice mostly for that. And they haven't printed them in 3 years. So everybody that's wanting to play their stuff, is either had to get an app that's not supported anymore. Try to figure out how to, there's people that have made little charts, but now you're rolling a normal die to look on a chart to see what you... Oh. Okay, anyways, back to Evil Genius. Evil Genius is doing Everyday Heroes, putting out all kinds of cool stuff. But with that, they started working with Netflix and Zack Snyder on the Rebel Moon show that's being put out on Netflix, and they've done a boatload of work on the game, and I don't know exactly what happened, but basically. Let's see. Delivering all this unbelievable world and tabletop role-playing game to Netflix, it canceled the contract and is asserting the IP we created along with the entire game now belongs to Netflix. They also refuse to compensate us fairly for our work. And it's like, these guys, I don't get when companies do stuff like this. Evil Genius is not a big company. They're working their butts off on things, and and in the comments saying that it's possible that the world book, the world Bible that Evil Genius created was used, what could have been used while filming. This is a really, really ugly thing. Honestly, I don't want to see them actually have to go to court. I would much rather see Netflix just agree to let them release the game. It's better for everybody. It doesn't cost Evil Genius and lawyers. It doesn't cost Netflix and lawyers, and it puts a product out that we all get to play. And it's a way to get nerds hyped about the game or about the TV show, and it's great tie-ins, and they did all the work. So if you want to back Evil Genius, they're doing they're collecting signatures. It's kind of bonkers because they had a contract, and again, I really hope that they can work this out so that they can actually put a cool product out. Because from what I have heard is the Rebel Moon sounds like a pretty cool show, and it could be Zack Snyder getting back to what Zack Snyder does best, getting away from other people's IP. Well, maybe not. Okay. Beam Saber. This is one that I was told about a bunch, and I just kind of want to point it out. People keep telling me that it's pretty awesome, and I don't know if they have a physical copy. But I just wanted to bring it up because it does look kind of cool. And I'm just clicking to see what you get. PDF, 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 PDF. I want physical. Make physical copies. Oh, printables. Oh, reference sheets. Pilot. Darn it. And so, Music of the Spheres. The Music of the Spheres is Chaos. This was kickstarted a little while back by Goodman Games for Dungeon Crawl Classics. This was their 100th adventure. And it is now finally released as something that you can buy post Kickstarter. So, super duper cool. I don't know much about this one. I missed this one for some reason. I would have backed it. Let's see. Moonbase Blues. This is a supplement for Mothership. And it's, something for Mothership. Who doesn't like that? Rune Cairn. So we got a copy of Cairn in recently, and by Odin's Beard, put out their version of Rune Cairn. So where's the core? So there, Cairn, and so this uses the core Cairn rules, but it's Rune Cairn, so it's a little different, more Icelandic. So they put out their own game a while back, and Beneath the Broken Sword, but their bestiary just came out, and I love the little axe bottle opener. It's so cool. Cairn is a really cool game, and I just thought their bestiary finally coming out was pretty cool. Let's see, 100 dangerous new monsters inspired by Norse mythology to terrifying adventures. 55 stunning and evocative illustrations. Let's see. Cloud Empress rulebook. So, cool little RPG, totally free on DriveThru RPG. Astral News. Why was this sent to me? Oh, this is just a. I don't remember. You can now quickly make good-looking, futuristic Newso-blog articles for your. Oh, this is just a template for making news, little handouts for your sci-fi games. That's what this was. I'd forgotten. Which pretty awesome. If you want to get into making cool stuff for your games, this is actually. I need to download this so I can make some cool stuff for my Star Wars games. Let's see. Academia Arcana RPG, Ashcan Edition, DCC. So this is a fun little game put together. This is for DCC, Academia, your students at Wizard School, which is within Dungeon Crawl Classic, very scary. And OSRPG, Modern Horror 2nd Edition. Summon the Darkness, Evil Waits to be discovered. Whether you want to pit your characters against tentacled horrors, demonic toys, zombies, giant spiders, vampires, or elder gods, OSR RPG Modern Horror offers easy quick play rules for your one-shot adventure or campaigns. So it is a very simplified horror RPG to do quick one-shots with, which is awesome, and it's free. Or pay what you want. See, out of Spokane, Washington, Spookfest 5e RPG. So here's the funny thing with these. Everybody puts stuff like this out. We get Halloween stuff in this time frame. We get Christmas stuff because that's when people will do it. But when are you going to get it? You're going to get it, March of next year. Which I find hilarious. Light Fantasy. This is out of the UK. First created, zero backed. Retro rules, modern sensibilities. I hate to pick on Kickstarters, but you have a short little video.
Black Ball, and I'm going to less complex.
It's not really well made because he's just throwing things over his face, and the audio's so. But it's just a wall of text. There's no, there's nothing actual. There's no examples of the game in the campaign itself. It's rough because a lot of people aren't going to watch the video unless they look at until after they look at all this, and this is a big example of what not to do. I hope he does well. I hope he looks at this and really learns from it. I mean, and he's halfway to his goal, a little over halfway to his goal, so he may still make it. So fingers crossed for him, but you will struggle if it is just a wall of text. Cryptid Creeks. They're at almost 60 grand. Also out of the UK. They got almost 1,200 backers. 59 hours to go. See. Even mock-ups of the books. They have art. They have headers. That is really cool. I love that. This is a much better laid out Kickstarter. And looked kind of adorable at the same time. Funded in under 2 hours. Let's see. Capers Cyberpunk RPG. So Capers is an RPG that's been around. Nerdburger Games has been putting stuff out for a little while now. And they've done 20 Kickstarters. So they know what they're doing. If you know anything about the Capers RPG system, you know exactly what you're getting into. It is a card-based RPG, if I recall correctly, and it uses cards. So, but now they're doing their Capers system because they've done a variety of other settings, and it's about time that they did our Cyberpunk. So. And they've every Capers game I've looked through has been a good game, so this should be no different. And now I got the hiccups. Yes. It only has 59 hours left to go. They're over $100,000. Hats off to them. Totally not. I am not their target audience with this, but Waifu the RPG, the complete Waifu handbook, the ultimate RPG book for weebs, compatible 5e, Pathfinder 1 and 2. This thing makes me just laugh so much because they've had to make new stretch goals, which is awesome. If you are looking for a waifu RPG, here you go. This makes me laugh. Neon Blues, the whole shebang. Neon Noir tabletop RPG from a Chicago-based company. I've been to Chicago. I wouldn't brag about being a Chicago-based company. I guess there is, because technically the original role-playing game companies were all out of the Chicagoland area. Lake Geneva, Wisconsin is a suburb of Chicago. FASA, so many of the original companies were in the Chicagoland area. It's because nobody wants to go outdoors there, so... The Void Gate game, this is their second created. They still haven't backed anything. But it does look like a decent little RPG. and I wish them luck. Let's see. Shadows over Lake Geneva. Hey, Lake Geneva. Adventures. Oh, wait. This one must have just ended while I was streaming. This is Heidi Gygax, one of Gary Gygax's children, Luke and Ernie's sister. So, Shadows over Lake Geneva just ended, it looks like. Okay, well, will it let us back it? That's funny, it gives it a back button and then it won't let. Oh well. We missed this one. I should have put this one further forward. And then Caverns and Caravan, a dungeon delve adventure duo for fantasy RPG modules. Fantasy RPG modules for first and second ed, AD&D, BX, BECME, D&D, Pathfinder, Osric, DCC, Labyrinth, Lord, Swords and Wizardry, or other OSRs. Whew. Now, this one's out of Tacoma, Washington. I've got to hunt this person down. I got to find them. It's got 28 days to go. They were only looking for $1,000. They're at 7,000 already. Yeah, this is pretty cool. R. Nelson Bailey. My start of role-playing games with Advanced D&D in 1983 has never stopped for the last 15 years. I've run weekly AD&D, the group of dedicated players, as with many kids of the day. It was my dream to have TSR publish one of my modules. I'm now doing it on my own with Dungeoneers Guild games. Tower of Black Sorcerers and Dungeon of Dreadworm are the first two in a line of classic-style dungeon delve adventure modules. So, yeah, local game designer that I didn't know was putting stuff out. Oh, I love that art. Oh, we also have a new Uzi coming out for next year. Super excited for that one. Yes, the waifu book clearly has a market. There is definitely a strange overlap of the waifu and RPGs, which I didn't really know. Again, I'm not the target audience for it, but it doesn't mean the game doesn't need to exist. I love seeing any RPG out there. A quickling does his dirty work on an unfortunate adventure. I need to reach out to this individual and be like, hey, you live like in my neighborhood, like how do I get a hold of you? So yeah, Tacoma Company, doing well. Let's see, PDF of both is $16. Print is $36. That's not too bad. PDF of all of them is $52. So that's 10 books. If you want all of them in print, that's $150. That's not too bad. That's $15 a piece. It's not horrible. And the first 200 backers receive stamped, numbered, and signed copies of these ones. Nice. Let's see. This is on BackerKit, funded in only 8 hours. Absolute Power, Silver Age Sentinels, 2nd edition. A superhero role-playing game. So the Silver Age is come and gone. Super powers now bring fear as often as comfort and shades of gray cast the world in shadow, muting the shining colors of yesteryears. Villains have become stronger, and their influence is felt in every nation. The need for heroes is greater than ever. Can you balance superheroine gifts with humanity, compassion, and hope? Do you have what it takes to resist the ever-present lure of the Absolute Power? Absolute Power, Silver Age Sentinels, 2nd edition. What is the... Oh! $130 contains all 4 new products. Newcomer 300. That gets you a bunch of stuff. Let's see. So season 1 was Urban Warfare. Season 2 is Dark Empire. And this is seasons 1 and 2 anthology. So you can buy the book split up, or you can buy the anthology. Interesting. And we're going to go into our... So Humble Bundle doesn't have... They have a bunch of good books on right now, but they don't have any RPGs. So Sacred Lands 5e. This is up for 21 days. So $19 gets you... are these titles that have any relation to Dungeon Crawl Classics? Oh, no. These... this is a local publisher. These were not on the DCC bundle at all. That big giant DCC Dungeon Crawl Classic bundle that was on Humble Bundle recently. This is a third party, and if you got that bundle, oh man, hats off. That was a ginormous bundle. Okay, let's see. So $18 gets you Sacred Lands 5e Player Guide, the Creature Collection, Yogman's Guide to Gelspad, The Wise and Wicked, 2nd edition, Spirgos' Saga, the 3 modules, Gauntlet, Dagger, and Ring of Spirgos. And then if you go up to $31.31, I always love the random values they put on those. Dead Man's Rust, Virgil Watch, 11 Sacred Lands D20 collection books, and Sacred Lands 5e virtual tabletop assets, 4 sets. Let's see. Hostile has 41 minutes left. $10 gets you the rules and setting, the gun locker, Cepheus handouts, and the Hostile referee screen. And then if you go up to $22.50, you get all that, plus the Explorer's Dirtside Colony Builder, Alien Breeds. Yes, I read your comment there, Zeta Raven. Alien Breed Synthetics, Gunboats and Scuttles, Marine Corps Handbook 2215, and the Crew Expendable. So this one's only available for 41 more minutes. Scarred Lands, yes. Delta Green, if you like Delta Green, it's a Cthulhu-based RPG in the modern world. So for $8, you get the Agent's Handbook, the Complex, and Agent Dossiers, 41 NPCs. Then if you go up to $40, you get all that, plus the Delta Green Handler's Guide, the Delta Green The Conspiracy, updated the classic 1997 sourcebook that established Delta Green, Delta Green The Labyrinth, Iconoclasts, an Iraqi Delta Green campaign, interesting, Impossible Landscapes, Arcant, and Delta Green Handler Screen. Yeah, I live in Tacoma, so that game designer is here in the same town I live in. So I just need to go start knocking on doors like, hey, do you create role-playing games? No? Sorry. Let me go to the next person. Hey, do you play? No, I wouldn't do that. For $18, it's a bunch of asset packs for virtual tabletops for Delta Green. So if you're into Delta Green and you play virtual tabletop stuff, there's a boatload of things here. I'm not going to go over that one. I've talked about it a bunch. Novel writing game tools. $10. So this one has 30 days. This one just popped back up. So this has been a pack, or these have been in packs before. So Alone on a Journey, 7 Wonders. We just got a copy of this book recently. Apothecaria, a solo potion making RPG. Apothecaria Shimmer Snow Valley. Recipe for Crimdish paper. Then if you go up to $20.38, you get all those plus The Slow Knife. A game of avarice villains and patient revenge for 2 to 4 players. That sounds interesting. The Curse of the House of Rookwood. Curse of the House of Rookwood. Family secrets and gothic horror. Not a demon. I would beg to differ if you looked like that. Just saying. Bleak Spirit. Visitor arrives in a land of majesty and mystery. So these are a bunch of really cool little small RPGs. A lot of them are solo based. They're great for writing prompts and the like. I really dig stuff like this. This one, the Seven Wonders, is really cool because it's actually 7 different RPGs in that book. It's pretty cool. Mistborn Adventures. $18. You get Mistborn Adventures, Alloy of Law, Masks of the Past, Terrace, Rot of Copper, and Ska. Oh, that's a different type of ska. Tin and Ash. Yes, I know. Hey, what was everybody's ad on stream there? Let's see. The Yellow King. $18 gets you the Yellow King RPG and the Yellow King Suite. 6 music soundtracks of sinister use and purpose. And then if we go up to $29, you get the game, the music, Absinthe in Carcosa, Anointed King in Yellow, The Missing and the Lost, and New Tales of the Yellow Sign. I don't know much about this game. From what I understand, it's pretty big in Europe, so sounds kind of cool. Oh, Flying Circus. Oh yeah, this is a so $12.95 aviation fantasy about mercenary fighter pilots surviving high stress careers. So your pilots and mercenaries, like the got car ads. Huh? Everybody needs a new car, right? I always like to see what ads everybody gets. So Flying Circus, aviation fantasy about mercenary. What was the American pilots that flew for the French? The La Escadrille. But there was tons before America got into World War One. Tons of men went over to be mercenary fighter pilots for the British, the French, everybody. Mostly good guys. Horror of the Heights. 2 Flying Circus plane packs. Flights of Fancy and First Flights. And it was a very crazy time to be a pilot. And the Horrors of Heights. High altitude gameplay and things that dwell above the clouds. Ooh. I'm very intrigued by this one. I just think it's kind of cool. Well, that is all we've got. We got some cool stuff in. Like the Complete Tavern from the early 80s. A Games Workshop version of RuneQuest. More Marvel superheroes, but X-Men and X-Force. Old 1970 superhero RPG. A collector's edition of Vampire 5e I didn't know existed. Old book of random magic. The Rogues Gallery for 2nd Ed. A new game that I didn't know about called Ark and Adventures. A bunch of stuff for the Lamentations of Flame Princess. Really excited. I really want to run this for some people. And you can actually tone this down to be all ages. You just don't hand them the book. Another copy of the Index Card RPG. One that I can't wait to tear into. Orbital Blue. And the GM screen for it. This was the closest thing that you were going to get to Cowboy Bebop until you get the Cowboy Bebop game in hand. Let's see. Errant, which I don't know anything about. Flat Sword Hack, one of my favorite OSRs. Mazes, and Rectify, solo horror RPG. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be continuing our adventures in the wonderful worlds of Pirate Borg, and we've got so many crazy things coming up. In next month, we're going to be doing local con, one-day convention, playing games here in Tacoma. Can't think of the name of that all of a sudden. And then in December, we've got PAX Unplugged. Oh, I got to get everything prepped for that. The library is going to be in 3 places because stuff that's going to PAX Unplugged will be there for PAX East and won't be back before Emerald City Comic Con, Norwest Con, and Sakura Con. And on the weekend of Norwest Con and Sakura Con, so we're going to have a library that's traveling on its way back. We're going to have stuff at an anime convention and stuff at a sci-fi and fantasy convention. Yeah, my brain is melting. Well, I thank you all for tuning in, and you guys have all been awesome. I will see you tomorrow while we play some Pirate Borg. I was told it's gonna get weird. I don't know how much weirder it can get, but we're gonna see. Until then, the library is now closed.